Everything you love will change. Everyone you cherish will one day leave. Even this body will, little by little, betray you. The Buddha taught, all conditioned things are impermanent. Pause with me for a moment. Look at your life. Maybe you have a good job, a warm home, a loving family. And yet, under all that, there's a quiet anxiety. A fear that the job might slip. That the people you love could go. That this happiness is too fragile to last. Have you ever wondered? If everything changes, what can I possibly rely on? If nothing lasts forever, can I still find peace? You're not alone. Over 2,500 years ago, a young prince wrestled with the same questions. He faced old age, sickness, and death. Instead of turning away, he walked straight into that harsh reality, and discovered a path to freedom and ease. Today, let's sit together, gently and in silence, to listen to that wisdom. Not as a distant philosophy, but as a compass for modern life. Imagine you're sitting by a river. Water keeps flowing, carrying leaves, stones, memories, sadness and joy. You can't hold on to a single drop. But you can choose how you look, resist and suffer, or soften and see that this flow, this impermanence, is life's true breath. So, how did the Buddha say we can live when everything changes? Someone once said, the greatest truth we forget is that everything will change. Impermanence can sound like bad news. But it's actually the solid ground that lets us learn freedom and live fully. The Buddha taught anicca, impermanence. Nothing in this world endures forever. From a falling petal to our youth, from skyscrapers to mighty empires, everything passes. Instead of treating this as a tragedy, treat it as a doorway. A doorway to the truth that we can't hold anything forever, yet we can learn to move lightly through change. Suffering appears when we demand that changing things stay the same. We want our loved ones to be who they were on day one. We want our bodies to never age. We want happiness to last and sadness to vanish on command. But life doesn't follow our orders. The harder we fight this, the more tired and disappointed we become. When we understand and accept impermanence, we receive two gifts. Freedom from the illusion of control. We stop forcing what can't be forced. A deeper presence in the now. Knowing this moment won't return, we treasure it more. Picture yourself in a small boat on a wide river. The current never stops. If you try to row upstream, you exhaust yourself and still get carried away. If you learn to ride the current and steer wisely, the river becomes your ally, carrying you farther than you could go alone. Impermanence is that river. You can't command it to stop. But you can learn to move with it, not against it. In the scriptures, the Buddha asked his disciples, "Does youth remain?" They answered, "No, blessed one." He asked, "Do health, wealth, and status endure?" Again, "No, blessed one." He concluded, "Since all things change, do not cling to them. Use impermanence itself to awaken, do not waste your life. Try this. Notice small changes. Each day, spot one tiny shift, a new fallen leaf, a fine line by your eye, the hush after rain. Smile and whisper, impermanence is here. Practice a softer grip. When plans fall through or your phone breaks, breathe and say, this is impermanent too. I don't control everything. Honor the moment. With loved ones, really look and really listen, as if this could be the last time. Impermanence makes love deeper. If accepting impermanence is step one, how do we ease the pain of clinging? Suffering doesn't come from change. It comes from holding on to what can't be held. The Buddha taught, craving is the root of suffering. It isn't impermanence that hurts us, it's our insistence that things must not change. A hard truth, the tighter we grip, the more we lose. The gentler we hold, the more peace we feel. In the Four Noble Truths, the Buddha pointed to craving and clinging, as the cause of suffering. Three common forms of clinging. Clinging to the body in youth. When the body ages, we suffer. Clinging to people, possessions, reputation when they change, we suffer. Clinging to the idea of me when it's challenged, we suffer. Letting go isn't rejecting life or love. It's loving without chains, living wholeheartedly without holding so tight, so life can flow. Imagine holding a balloon. Squeeze too hard and it pops. Loosen your grip and it floats, light and beautiful, lasting longer. Life is like that. Force and grasping make things break. Space and softness let them shine. A simple, everyday story. A young woman babied her new phone, always wiping it, terrified of scratches. One day it slipped from her hand. The screen cracked. She cried. A few days later she realized, it still worked. It still helped her connect and get things done. The pain wasn't from the cracked glass, it was from the belief, it must stay perfect. She began to handle everything with care and gratitude, and with a willingness to let go when things inevitably changed. Letting go isn't forgetting or going numb. It's opening your heart to the truth that everything changes, and that you are not alone in your pain. Try this. Name the clinging. The next time you feel anxious, pause and ask, what am I holding on to here? A hope, a relationship, an image of yourself. Seeing it is the first release. Love without ownership. Looking at someone you care about, say inwardly, you belong to yourself. I can't keep you forever, but I can love you fully, now. Breathe and release. Take a slow breath in, on the out breath, whisper, I soften. I don't need to hold everything. Each exhale is a small letting go. Practice giving. Offer a compliment, a small gift, a smile. When you give, your heart grows roomier. When we let go, impermanence no longer drags us. Still, in a changing world, where can we rest? If everything outside changes, where do we lean? There is one place that never leaves us, our own awareness. We can't find stability in money, status, or even the people we love, all of that shifts. But we can grow steady in mindfulness, the clear knowing of each moment without being swept away by it. Mindfulness doesn't stop impermanence. It helps us move through impermanence without losing inner stability. In the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the Buddha taught us to observe body, feelings, mind, and phenomena, all impermanent. Watching these changes loosens our identification with them. Anger arises, we see, this is anger, not, I am anger. Sadness comes, sadness is passing through, not, this is who I am. Joy appears, we savor it, knowing it too will change. From the seat of awareness, life still moves, but we're not tossed around. Imagine a hurricane. All around, wind and branches thrash. Yet at the storm's center, there is a still I. Mindfulness is that I. The world can roar, and deep within you can remain calm. A commuter sat in traffic for hours each day and came home tense and sharp with his family. After a short meditation course, he practiced mindfulness in traffic. Instead of stewing, he watched his breath, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. He saw the cars as waves rolling by. He stopped fighting them. Over time, traffic became practice, a training in patience and ease. His family noticed the difference, the home grew warmer. We don't have to wait for life to be perfect to feel peaceful. With mindfulness, even in chaos, there is a sky of quiet inside. Try this. Mindful breathing, 2 to 3 minutes a day. Sit, inhale slowly, I'm alive. Exhale, I smile. This is your anchor. Mindfulness in daily tasks. When washing dishes, just wash. When sipping tea, just sip. Ordinary acts become meditation. Watch emotions, don't become them. Not, I am an angry person, but anger is moving through. Emotions come and go, the one who knows remains. Use a pause button. Before you react, take one conscious breath. That tiny gap can change your day. When mindfulness steadies us, we have an inner refuge. And still, there's a larger truth the Buddha asked us to face: death, the most certain thing of all. To live fully, we must look directly at death. Death is not the enemy. It's a quiet teacher, reminding us of the worth of each moment. Most of us avoid the topic, but the Buddha taught Maranasati, mindfulness of death, as a deep practice for living awake. Remembering life is brief helps us cherish it, love honestly, and drop the petty stuff. He reminded the monks. With each breath, death can come. Do not waste your life in ignorance and heedlessness. Death is impermanence in its purest form. We all know it's coming, but not when. That not knowing is a bell of awareness. It makes us ask: am I truly living, or just running habits? Am I loving with my whole heart, or postponing? Am I spending my time on what matters? Imagine holding an hourglass. Each grain of sand is a second of your life. You can't stop it falling. You don't know when it will run out. That's why each grain is precious. Death is that hourglass, not to scare us, but to wake us up to gratitude. A middle-aged man hears from his doctor, "You have about 6 months." At first he breaks down. Weeks later, he changes course. He spends more time with family, calls old friends, apologizes to those he hurt. He starts a daily gratitude journal. Those 6 months become the richest of his life, full of meaning, love, and connection. Then the doctor discovers a lab error: he's fine. Yet he keeps living as if time is short, and his life stays deeper than ever. When death comes into view, life becomes vividly alive. Try this. Morning or night, ask, if today were my last, how would I live? Write a last letter. Speak your heart to those you love. You'll see what truly matters. Drop the small stuff. When annoyed, ask, if I had one day left, would this be worth my energy? End the day with thanks. Today has passed. I'm grateful I was alive. Each day becomes a gift. Facing death teaches tenderness, and from that tenderness, love grows deeper. We're often afraid to love because love can be lost. But the Buddha taught, precisely because life changes, love is a miracle. Many of us love with constant worry, afraid people will change, leave, or be taken from us. The truth is, impermanence is what makes love profound. If nothing changed, a hug or a look would be ordinary. Because time flows, every moment together is priceless. Fearless love doesn't mean indifference. It means opening fully without trying to possess or trap. The Buddha emphasized metta, loving kindness, and upekkha, equanimity. Metta, loving and wishing others well. Upekkha, loving without ownership or strings. With metta and upekkha, love is not a chain, it's a fresh spring that nourishes everyone. Imagine a flower in bloom. You know it will fade, so you lean in, breathe its scent, trace each petal. If it lasted forever, you wouldn't treasure it the same way. So with people, they can leave at any time, and that's why every moment is a gift. A busy father comes home late, night after night, telling himself, when things settle down, I'll spend more time with my kid. One evening his son asks, "Dad, why are you always late?" The father sees how quickly childhood is passing, it won't come back. He stops waiting for someday and gives 1 full hour each day, playing, reading, dinner together. He learns that love isn't a promise to the future, it's presence now. Try this. Practice deep seeing. When you're with someone, really look into their eyes and say inwardly, this person is impermanent, like me. I'm grateful we share this moment. Give freedom instead of grip. I love you, and I don't own you. Say it now. Don't wait for a holiday to say, thank you, or, I love you. Meditate on loss, gently. Now and then, imagine a loved one could leave at any time, not to feed fear, but to deepen your tenderness today. When we love without fear of loss, relationships open into freedom. And still, To live well in a changing world, we need one more balance, neither clinging nor rejecting. If we cling, we suffer. If we reject life, we suffer. So what's the path through impermanence with grace? The Buddha called it the middle way. The middle way isn't a lukewarm compromise, it's a wakeful balance between extremes. Not drowning in indulgence, it binds us. Not wearing ourselves out with harsh denial, it drains us. It's living in harmony, honoring life without letting it pull us into endless cycles of greed, anger, and confusion. After leaving the palace, the Buddha practiced severe asceticism until he was skin and bone, and saw it led nowhere. When he accepted a simple bowl of milk rice, he realized, freedom isn't in self-torture or self-indulgence. It's in the middle way, the road to wisdom and release. This balance is made practical in the Noble Eightfold Path, 8 lived trainings that steady and clarify our lives. Think of a guitar. Tighten the string too much, it snaps. Leave it too loose, it doesn't sing. Tune it just right, and music appears. Life is that guitar. The middle way is learning to tune body and mind, not too tight, not too slack. A modern story. A young mother works full-time and raises a small child. She tries to be perfect at everything, stellar at work, flawless at parenting, spotless at home, until her body gives out. While recovering, she realizes she doesn't have to play superhuman. She learns to balance, doing her best within her limits, and also resting and caring for herself. When I stopped straining to do it all, she says, I could still do well, only with a gentler heart. This is the middle way in everyday life, adjusting our pace, avoiding extremes, and finding ease right in the middle of work and family. Try this. Check your rhythm. Am I wound too tight and overworked? Or too slack and checked out? Balance is the aim. Practice conscious rest. Rest isn't waste. A mindful cup of tea is also practice. Set healthy boundaries. Know when to say yes and when to say no. You don't have to please everyone. Remember, there's no fixed formula. The middle way is listening to your life. Today you may need more rest, tomorrow you may move with more vigor. Moving with the middle way, we pass through impermanence more lightly. And after all of this, what remains? The Buddha's core message, return to awareness and compassion. We've walked 6 keys for living in a changing world. Accept impermanence as the ground of life. Release clinging, suffering comes from grasping, not change. Find steadiness in mindfulness, the unmoved heart of the storm. Welcome death as a teacher, to live fully now. Love without fear of loss, every moment is a miracle. Walk the middle way, balance between extremes. All these keys open one door, peace in your own heart. If everything is impermanent, what can you rely on? Rely on awareness, seeing things clearly as they are. Rely on love, the one treasure that grows by giving. Rely on presence, the only real wealth you ever truly have. Impermanence isn't a dark threat. It's a light that shows, there's nothing to clutch, and therefore nothing to lose. Every moment, every touch, every smile becomes precious. Maybe you're still in the thick of stress, loss, uncertainty. Remember, you're not alone. The Buddha walked this road, millions have walked it, and you can, too. When fear rises, place a hand on your heart, take one deep breath, and whisper. I am here. I am alive. I am enough. If this touched you, consider subscribing to Buddhism Wisdom, Spirituality so we can keep traveling this path together. If you feel nourished, give the video a like, and share it with someone who could use a little peace. And now, a quiet farewell. May you walk this changing world with an open heart. May you find stillness in the swirl. And may every breath, every step, bloom into awakening.